Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 104 of Two Left Thumbs, your source of weekly gaming news, deals, and discourse. My name is Deft Puppies. Joining me today on the cast, you may have heard of him before. He's an advocate for Souls games, and a Kale enthusiast, and the original writer of the Paper of Truth, which now guides us 104 episodes in. DawnoftheDan, how are you, man?
Not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. Kale enthusiast.
Kale enthusiast. Look, I remember. All right, look, I've been turned around by Kale a little bit now. I've been using it a lot more at work, and it's not a huge fan still, but I appreciate your love for it a little bit now. It does.
It grows on you. It grows on you. That's for sure. No, man. It's good to be back. Haven't done this for a while.
Yeah, it's
for over 12 months, I think.
Yeah, it's been about a year since you were last on. Dust off the old recording equipment.
Yeah. Dig it out of the cupboard and make sure it all still works.
Yeah, that's it. Do a few tests and shit.
Head hasn't got any less rougher either.
Look, you know what? It's fine. We've kind of got a matching thing going on with the stubble and the hair right now, so
yeah.
We can go even with that. It'll be fine. You just need to get yourself some glasses, and we can match.
Fine. I've got a pair.
Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful.
Hey.
Oh, look at that. They're almost the same shape as mine too. That's amazing. This is a great start to an audio podcast. Hey guys, look at Dan's glasses.
Yeah, look how much the same we are, people. Can't you just hear?
We're practically twins, guys. So if you're at home listening to the audio version, you can just imagine me talking to myself, almost, but older and wiser, possibly.
Grayer. Yeah.
Grayer.
No, I wouldn't go wiser, just grayer.
But, yeah. So what have you been up to, man? Like I said, it's been 12 months. How many times have you played Dark Souls since?
I reran Dark Souls 3 and played as a magic class, which is completely fucking OP. Yeah. So if you're struggling with the game, start again and play as a magic user. It's hard for about half an hour, and then after that, it's piece. Ran through Sekiro again. And I picked up the OG Dark Souls, really, really cheap. So I'm about halfway through that, and then I got distracted. And not quite Dark Souls, but the little game that dropped at the end of last year, Mortal Shell. I think you posted a couple of links in the Thumbs channel.
Yeah.
It was it's built in the spirit of Souls, and it's a damn good little game. I think I picked it up on sale for about $40 at the time. Definitely nowhere near as long as a Souls game, but it takes it to heart. Yeah, it takes it it's Souls like. It takes it very seriously and adds a few unique mechanics to it that just separate it enough to say it doesn't just feel like it's a fucking rehash of a Souls game.
There's something a few unique features in there just to kind of set it apart from everything else that's coming out at the moment, because there has been quite a few Soulsborne games out now. There's 7 or 8 of them now that are like mainstream at least.
Yeah, and as I said, there's a lot of pretenders to the throne out there. So, but as I said, this one here sort of takes the whole class thing. You're like some fucking unborn, misshapen looking thing, but you got the ability to take over basically the armor suits of dead warriors. So there's 4 different suits within the game, and that's your class. So you sort of got your assassin type class, which has high dexterity, next to no health, but utilizes poison. You got your tank class, you got your standard warrior class, and you've got a more in-betweeny sort of skills-based class as well. So as I said, definitely good take. And if you sort of get sick of playing one way, well, you just go change suits of armor and play a completely different class.
It's not like a pick a class at the start. You can kind of change whatever you want. Do you have to travel back or restart?
No. So it's got the same sort of idea where you got the central hub, and you got some Sheila you talk to that she confuses the shit out of you and allows you to level up. And the only thing you have to do is go find the different suits of armor hidden around the world. And once you've found them, they go back to your hub, and they're like dead in the crypt there. So all you do is climb into the crypt with the suit of armor and come out all dressed up and ready to go. So there's no stats, no respecking. Everything's carried with that suit of armor. So as you level it, you can put it away and pick it back up and where you were from. So I liked that. So you could go and play around with different things, and you didn't have to really worry that you'd spec too hard in one direction and you couldn't reverse your way out of it. So, if you want to go from being a warrior to a magic user, well, obviously, you don't really spec hard for intellect in warrior builds.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, so it was a nice take. Well made little game. Dramas with it. Typical Souls-like story mode, which made no sense whatsoever. Even after you finished it, you're like, okay, I just killed a lot of people.
What's going on? Just
killed a lot of people, and a big bad boss at the end wanted to kill me. But at the end, you're like, well, it was fun. It took me three times to get through Bloodborne and actually work out what the fuck was going on. So,
is that just through the exploring and finding like the in-game lore, the map and stuff? Because
really finding more of the lore.
It's just kind of dropped around. You've got to find it and pick it up.
Yeah, a bit like Destiny. Half the lore is hidden on items. So unless you're reading the item, just first time you're playing through, you're sort of like you're basically a serial killer because you've got no idea why you're running around axing people. And then you start paying attention to the words on the screen when you pick things up, and read some of the lore behind things, and the pieces fall into place.
Right, yeah.
And that's why this all those games have got such huge lore communities behind them in the end.
Yeah, they end up being fairly deep in story once you kind of scratch through the gameplay and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, the actual the content's kind of hidden as such. If you just follow the game for the story, you're just basically wandering through old wrecked cities, killing things. I mean,
it's honestly better than some stories that we've had in recent games. So,
shit, yeah.
You go murder things. There's that way. Kill dudes. No reason why. Just do it. You die, start again.
And stress that you lost all your leveling up materials. They're sitting in a heap over there with that big bad thing that just slaughtered you.
Now, do I fight this guy first, or I pick them up really, really quickly?
Do the run through.
Yeah.
No, so as I said, I picked up Neo 2. I haven't played that yet.
I've heard good things about it though. I mean,
yes, I played the demo. Yeah, I love the first one, and I played the demo. They when they were running the demo last year, or the beta or whatever they call it, and I pretty much played it 4 or 5 days solid and loved it. Explored the areas and did this and that. So the things that were like friction points with the first game, they've kind of rubbed them out a little bit. Made everything there a little bit better. So I'm yet to. I've got to make some space and dive into that because there's been a few other games been taking up a lot of time.
Imagine.
Yes.
So, tell me about those games. What have you been playing recently?
Okay, so Destiny 2 got good.
Oh,
with the Beyond Light expansion, it got good again. Yeah, they've sort of changed.
I had a moment with it. I picked it up and I played the story. I'm like, this is neat. That's cool. I like this, and the new the way you discover the new stasis ability was kind of cool. The villain was kind of Aramis. It's kind of but it was fun, and then it was like, okay, now you're back to leveling up, and I was just like, I don't want to do that again.
Yes,
I love the story in Destiny. I love what's going on and what they've done and how they're telling the stories. But it's just, the gameplay loop needs to change a little bit, I think.
Yeah, so that's one of the friction points for me is the leveling system.
Yeah,
because it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like an organic part of playing the game. Like every other, any role-playing game, you should just play the game and get stronger over time. Not particularly just go do specific things or get locked into a couple of activities to be able to level. So that, and honestly, that's been one of Bungie's problems with this game since the start. Unless you've previous seasons farmed up a whole heap of materials and everything else like that, you're hitting material walls. Like I just don't have enough mats. So you just got to go do some brainless farming on fucking destinations to be able to get materials to be able to just level up a bit. And it's like, no, I don't. It doesn't feel like an organic way to play the game. It feels like you want me to go play patrols for half an hour.
Moment-to-moment gameplay is good, but I don't think it carries, especially if you've been playing, because we're long-term players. We've been playing since like the OG Destiny. It's just more of Destiny, which is great for some people, but I don't think for the franchise itself, it needs to evolve in some way to really freshen it up for everyone else. I mean, they took away. How did you feel about the planets disappearing?
No, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
good.
Get rid of half. I never went there anyway.
Exactly right. It's like,
Yeah, so I don't, as a player, I don't do patrols. I rarely do strikes. So yeah, no, losing destinations was actually good for the game because they can bring it back out of the cup in 12 months' time, and
Yeah.
it'd be like, fuck yeah, we go back to Titan, and relive all the memories for 6 months and go, fuck, I'm over it. Yeah, so as I said, yeah, they're leveling in the game. It's kind of a gear game, but it's not a gear game. They've got like 2 systems floating there that just kind of fight against each other, for a better word.
Yeah, they don't mesh well at all. No.
Yeah, and that leads me to my other big friction point with the game is bounties. The way that the bounties are structured now, they're still one of your major sources of XP for battle pass and all the other shit, and they're just, as I said, I get niffy with the game when it wants to tell me how to play the game. So, for example, you go down and see Zavala and say, okay, everything's strike related. So, okay, well, the burn for this day or this week is this, and half the bounties are for a different subclass. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go run Nightfalls or I'm going to go run Strikes, but I can't run it I can't run my desired loadout, or I can't run my desired class because it's locked out for the day, or it's locked out for the week.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's just stupid. Then you go tell me you use.
I do understand from a design point where they're coming from. Like, it's like they want you to kind of, because especially with Destiny, you get stuck with you get to a point where you're stuck with a loadout, you're stuck with a subclass because it is the optimal of what you want to do or how you like to play, it's trying to force you to try other parts and experiment, which I get, but I can understand how it can be frustrating as well.
Yeah, I'm one of those players. I find a loadout in a class and I'll stick for it for the whole season. I don't really care. I'll try something new every beginning of the new season. When you got to respec your armor, do this or do that, I'll try something new. Once I find what I like, I don't really, because it's part of the pain in the ass to leveling. So you tell me, oh yeah, I've got to go into a strike with scout rifles, which are definitely nowhere near meta, and they're not fun to use. Yeah,
it makes the whole task a pain in the ass.
And it's like, oh, now I've got to go run strikes with a subclass that I'm not specced out for. My arm's not set up for. I'm not even nowhere near it. You make me use a gun I don't want to use because I'm using grenade launchers and fucking swords or whatever. You then telling me how to play the game. It's like, no, just you could change your bounties to be a little bit more generic. Just say, okay, go in there, go get 150 kills, or do this or do that. Do these certain activities that happen within the game. Don't tell us how to set up our loadouts, our subclasses. Let us play the way we want to play.
If you don't have the mats, and it's like, all right, use a scout rifle, but you don't have one, you then got to go either purchase one or get one from the vendor, not the vendor, the where all your drops go. And then you've got to level it up. So, especially if you're doing a high tier nightfalls, like, so you could do a nightfall and get scout rifle kills. Scout rifles are getting picked on here. We're not sorry.
No, it's just
and then it's not, you've got to spend all that materials just to do that bounty, which can be a pain in the ass as well.
And as I said, like and bounties have been like that for a while. It's kind of, they just need to tailor them a little. The only ones that I see should be weapon specific. Should be the gunsmith. Theoretically. He's like, okay, definitely. I want you to go out there and go do this bounty using this weapon because this is my thing because I'm a weapons dude. The game mode, like the Gambit vendors, the old Drifters, Zavala, and all those guys, they should just be saying, okay, this is activity specific. Go play 3 games. Go do this. Go
kill certain champions.
Exactly.
Certain amount of enemies, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No,
even with the Zavala, the strikes one, like run a strike under X amount of minutes. I mean, that could get I see how they get frustrating, especially with match made activities, and you've got like you're trying to do a speed run, and the other people are just kind of doing a different bounty where they have to sit back and get a certain amount of kills, and I could see that clashing. But things like that, I think, would be cool, where they're very more specific to the activity, as opposed to go get sword kills in strikes. It's like, well, I don't want to.
Yeah, especially the daily refreshing ones that cost you a fortune. You pump them through and you look at half of them and go, oh, fuck, I'm not doing that. You get grenade kills.
Bounty, and you go back through them. He's like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that
So,
at all.
there goes 50,000 glimmer. Yeah. So, but as I said, if you're a PvP player, I wouldn't really bother at the moment. It's not.
There's nothing new added, was there, with Beyond Light at all?
Well, the new subclass is sort of dominating pretty hardcore, and they just really haven't done much for the PvP sandbox in about the last 2 years.
They took maps out and then didn't add any new ones in either.
No. So no new maps.
Which was a weird choice. So maybe they're doing something later on, but still, I think they should have definitely done something for the PvP players, because I mean, a lot of people I've seen that play PvP is like, well, what's the fucking point right now? Because there's nothing new for us to do.
Yeah, a lot of the long-term Destiny players are the PvP guys. So and they've been left out in the dark. Like, it's been close, fucking 2 years probably, at least, probably longer.
Again.
Yeah, and they put bounties in that and fucked it.
Yeah.
So as I said, but as I said, I'm predominantly PvE. So the new armor system is fantastic. It allows you to really spec into your builds. The way they actually designed the new subclass is going to allow
the way that was laid out. Actually, it was really kind of intuitive. It was nice.
And it allows for a lot more expansion. So you're kind of at the moment, okay, you got this, I think all your little fragments and your aspects and shit like that. So it allows you to actually min-max your class a little bit better than what you've been able to in the past. In previous, you just sort of select your subclass, you got your 4 tabs that you just level up and get, and that's it. It's like, whereas this now, it's sort of like saying, okay, well, here's a subclass, and all these are all the bits and pieces. You put them together how you want. So you don't have top tree, mid tree, bottom tree anymore. It's sort of
all there, and it's very akin to the original subclass menu from Destiny 1. It's a mesh between the two, where it's not as expansive, but it's still limited. But you have that freedom of choice to kind of tweak your build a little bit by little bit as well.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I want to do this kind of build where you put these fragments and aspects and everything else on. That was actually one thing. Now I want them to go back and redo all the other classes like that.
That'd be nice. Well, they did say that they were looking at touching up the current the older subclasses. So whether that means they're going to change the skill trees within them entirely to be something similar to what Stasis is, or they're going to change them entirely to, because they did a big refresh with Destiny 2 with the subclasses and what abilities were and what there, because they changed how the system was kind of put together. So maybe that's what they're looking into, is making it more like Stasis, maybe streamlining some of the stuff people don't use, and going that way with it, which would be interesting to see how that worked.
It allows you to min-max your builds. So in the RPG world, you sort of want to be able to, okay, this is the equipment I'm using, and then you want to match your skills and everything to suit that. It allows your characters to be a little bit more customized than just sort of top tree, mid tree, bottom tree, which is where we're all working now. So that is one of the changes I did like, and I'd like to see them expand on that. And the other one is I like the changes they've done to armor and mods. So the armor is a lot more customizable than it has been previously as well.
So once again, I haven't got this kind of far into the game. I got through the story and then did a couple of the posts, started a couple of the post story quests with Clovis Spray and stuff like that, but I haven't really started speccing anything yet, because I kind of stopped playing. So talk to me about how it'll work.
So they released, I think it was Armor 2.0 last year, where they sort of started leveling out some of the stuff. Instead of having perk rolls on armor, you inserted mods. So now what they have allowed is there was a bunch of mods that used to live on weapons, have now moved over onto armor. So you're not your weapons become a lot more flexible, because the mods now live over on the armor side. So they've sort of juggled a whole bunch of mods over into armor that were previously on weapons. So a piece of armor will come along now. It'll have 4 slots on it. One's like a generic sort of, either a stat roll or generally one of your 6 stats. You can chuck something like that in there. And then there's usually 2 middle ones, which are, depending on which part of the body it is, links either to a reload if it's a tan piece or stuff like that. And then you got last one, which is more of a character-based or seasonal type mod type slot. So it allows you to sort of juggle a lot more around on your armor, and your armor actually becomes a build instead of just being.
So you can have like different sets of arms for different sets of occasions, and certain
and
links
it's less
certain things.
Yeah, so you're less reliant on, I've got to use this specific weapon because it's got this perk on it or this mod. Now everything's over on your arm, makes the weapon side a lot more interchangeable. You're not worried about, okay, I can't run this build now because I've dumped that hand cannon in favor of a grenade launcher. So yeah, as I said, I like where they're taking the armor. Feels like it's about 6 years overdue, but they're getting there.
They're getting there eventually, slowly but surely, right?
So yeah, ticking away slowly. It's ticking away slowly. So as I said, there's plenty to do in the game. A lot of it's just busy work, especially the bounties. But the new raid is fantastic.
Oh, you've done the new raid, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more, because I haven't done it yet. I wanted to do it, but I've got to get through the leveling, which is where I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah. That's a hard bit. No. So the raids, it builds on the whole deep stone crypt, bloody Clovis Bray sort of mythology. So the Fallen take over one of the space stations, and you got to go shut them down. And our good friend Tanix returns.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So as I said, for me it was, I liked Wrath of the Machine back in D1. I reckon that was...
Wrath of the Machine was brilliant raid. I love that one as well.
And it has that same. It's not like that Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome feel that Wrath of the Machine had, but because it's a Fallen raid, it's got that same sort of feel to it, and it's probably one of the and it's one of the least sort of mechanic heavy ones that they've
really?
One of my criticism a lot of Destiny 2 raids is that they're incredibly mechanic heavy, and it's hard to take people through like we used to. Like in D1, we used to you'd grab 2 newbies and run them through a raid, or 3 people. You could run them through a raid as long as 2 or 3 people had a good grasp of the mechanics of the raid. You could generally, do that and take people through raids. A lot of the raids have been, you need 5 good people, and elite, and number 6 if they're new.
If they know the game well enough to understand it.
If they've gone and watched 20 YouTube clips on it, you got to know the mechanics, just to be able to run the raid, sort of thing. So that's been one of my criticisms. It's like, can you just give us a, not an easier raid, but something that we can actually, start taking people through and showing them, this is what raiding is, because it is the best part of the entire bloody franchise. So so definitely a lot more new player friendly type raid. It's still mechanics there, and people have still got to pull their weight, but definitely not as hardcore as some of them have been. So and probably the only other game that's been taking up a ton of my time has been Cyberpunk. The game that
oh man, this game has caused so much trouble. Over the last since launch, really. Like, I don't think I have not seen a news story every week where it's like fucking CD Projekt Red or Cyberpunk's fucking at it again. I mean, this week they're getting they're getting investigated by Sweden, I think it was, for misleading information in sales, so false advertising for a game, especially referring to the PlayStation and Xbox versions, because they definitely not were as advertised. But you've been playing on the PlayStation 4, correct? Or
yes,
on the Pro?
The old PlayStation 4.
Oh, the old, right? Okay, cool.
One
I have a copy for the old PlayStations. I haven't started it up yet. So talk to me. How's it holding up?
So I jumped in. I thought, I'm going to install it. I'm going to go look at it because I'd seen a few things, but mostly they're all PC based. What I'd seen, and on a good PC, it's a pretty damn nice looking game. And then you see them. They're just canning all these PlayStation, all the console versions, basically. And I was like, and they're unplayable. And it's like, oh, this is going to be fun. I thought, well, I'll install it. I'm going to have a look just for academic reasons.
Yeah.
And then if it's as bad as they say it is, I'll just shelve it. And 3 months, because Witcher 3 released in exactly the same state. It was a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
On release, the combat was crap. It was buggy. It crashed. It was terrible. And fucking 8 months later, it gets Game of the Year. So and I thought, okay. So I jumped in. I set it up, and I'm there going, okay, I'm now, just a brief overview, I'm now 50 odd hours into it. I think 52 hours into the game. I've had 4 crashes in 52 hours. So in context, I played Path of Exile on console. It'll crash on me once every 2 hours. So I would have had 25 crashes in that time.
Yeah.
I've had 1 bugged quest, and where I can't. Yeah, it's one of those Delamain taxi quests. I can't talk to the stupid thing, which didn't worry me anyway. And I've driven through the map once. I've driven through the map once. I was just driving up a hill straight through the map. Died. That's it. In 50 odd hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah,
considering as I said, I'm playing on PC, and I'm probably seeing about. I haven't seen any crashes yet. I think maybe one. Yeah. I had 1 crash. PC.
Yeah, it's blue screen the PS 4 times.
But that blue screen's a bit dicey. But I've just had the game crash, and I've just had to open it back up. It's fine. I've had 1 or 2 broken quests. Same thing as it wasn't the Delamain one. It was another one where I was supposed to go and talk to someone to finish that quest line, but it kept telling me to go back and do the step I'd just finished. So it registered that I'd done the step, but I hadn't. Nothing weird had happened in between, and so I was just walking around in circles for about 20 minutes, going. I go to the checkpoint. I'm like, all right, I'm here. Good, excellent. And there's no one there to talk to. I'm like, what the shit? So then I look at the map again, and it's like, no, you need to go back here. And I'm bouncing back and forth between these 2 points. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna exit the game, reload, and then it was fine. I think I went back and save, and it was okay. And then I've had some weird glitchy graphic things like whenever they're smoking, you get the multiple cigarette trick.
I only had that once.
Really? I've had it a few times.
Where they left their cigarette behind. I saw that once. As I said, and probably the worst one, as I've spec'd my character up, now I'm a lot faster, and to the point where it's a lot quicker to actually run around short distances. So if something's under 1 kilometer, it's quicker for me to run to the quest than to find a vehicle and drive there.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, but the problem is with that is that when I stop, I've got to wait 5 seconds for all the textures to load. Because the game, if you're in a vehicle, it just runs along, and as you're getting out of the car, it loads all that in the background, and by the time you're out of the car, it's kind of there. Whereas because I'm doing that, I stop, and you've just got to stand there and wait, because you pull your gun out to go shoot somebody, and the sights aren't there. There's just not the shapes are there, but there's no textures. Yeah, that's like okay. But as I said, I'm playing on a 7-year-old console. It's like
you have some patience for a newer game like that.
But
I mean, it's still a little bit buggy on PC, but I think I know I'm not as far in as you. I think I'm probably about 15-20 hours in. So I've just finished main story wise. I've just finished the Pan Am storyline. I did that last night.
How good was that?
That was great.
That's one thing.
The characters in this game, right?
Yes, I was going to say
totally suckered in by the story. I mean, I was just kind of I was streaming. I just kind of forgot I was streaming and just started playing. And then someone would write something in chat. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, you guys are here too. But I was totally suckered into what they were saying. The characters are fantastic. There's a decent diverse range of them as well. So there's a few characters you're like, well, I would have liked to know more. They just kind of they start getting you invested, and they just kind of throw them away. Disappear. And they just disappear. He's like, well, it seems a bit of a waste. So, I mean, maybe I'll see them later on in the game, but I mean, you probably would have seen them.
And some of those characters, there's actually quest lines that are dependent on what sex you are or what type of body type you have. I won't say sex because that was a dirty word. They're looking for masculine voice and masculine body. And that will trigger additional quest lines and stuff like that with certain characters as well.
Right. So I know there's the sexual preference with the characters that you can romance. Which is cool. But I didn't realize there was I was comparing with someone last night that was there's a line that Johnny says to you in the car with Pan Am about having a better dick, and he wanted to see I played having a dick in general, and he wanted to see, because I was playing as a male V and he'd played it through as a female V. He's like, I just want to see if they say anything different. It was the same, but it was still funny because it didn't matter what sex you were. It was a fucking insult. It was great.
No, but as I said, bugs and little bit technical issues aside, which at the end of the day, they'll sort it out. I've been there before. And as I said, having played through so much of the game, I can see, this is a big change for that company. Like, like they've made games like The Witcher. That's what they're famous for, and that's been their bread and butter for a long time. Is sort of entrenched in that fantasy world, and they've gone and changed that completely to cars, guns, and all that sort of crap. So, and they wouldn't have had those talents in house. So so there's a
little bit
whole change there. But
what I find interesting about that is though too, the melee style combat seems. I mean, I know Witcher was third person, so it's a little bit different.
It had the lock on feature.
Yeah, the combat. I mean, it's a thing with most first person modes as well, aside from very few spectacular games, where it just feels a little bit janky and there's not quite the right amount of and it's whiffy and you don't like. So I was using a hammer, right, and it did you're pressing buttons, but it didn't feel like there wasn't.
Didn't feel like you're swinging half a ton of steel.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why I've stuck to lighter weapons like the katana, because I'm just like slapping them with this sword.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wait till you get the Manus Blades, man.
I'll say I've got the Manus Blades. I haven't tried them out yet. I've got the Gorilla Arms. Because I picked up. I think it was during the one of the missions with the Voodoo Boys. The first one you do with them, and a guy I killed had a Gorilla Arms mod. I'm like, oh cool, I'll get those because I've got a mod for it to do extra damage. So now I've been leaning heavily on shotguns, katanas. I've got a handgun for range as such, and then I just run around punching people and just flick between them because I've got burn damage on my shotgun now. So I shoot them. Nice. It's like the double boom boom, and then like they just burn and will throw away. I'm like, yay!
You begin to the point where you start feeling. I think it was about level 20 where I started feeling kind of OP for the game. Because I went through and I looked through. I maxed reflexes, handguns. So I'm a pistol revolver type build, and sniper rifle. And then basically I worked my way through all the other trees and picked out the perks that's basically boosted crit damage. So I've got like fucking ridiculous crit damage. With a pistol I do $40,000 to $50,000 hit points worth of damage with a pistol. So by min-maxing inside the RPG system, I reached a point where I have to be careful. I still got shot, especially some of the enemies can fucking tank you pretty hard. But as long as I was hitting crits, there wasn't much in the game I couldn't kill with one or two shots.
Right, wow. I'm still at a point where I'm walking into areas because I think I'm like street cred level 30 now. I think that's where I'm at. And because I'm going for a very, very like up close and personal run and gun kind of build.
Shotgun punch build.
Shotgun punch build. The classic puppies. And there are enemies. I'm still running into areas. I'm like, no, I can't take these guys. I'll go up and I'll like unload my shotgun, and they just look at me, and there's like their health has moved like a couple of mil. I'm like, I'm gonna run now. See you later. Bye. I'll come back at another day. Speaking of leaving, there's really cool. I like the feature where you just walk out of a mission at any point, unless you're in like locked in a building. You say, you know what, I'm not feeling this right now. I'm just gonna leave. So I did that. I took on a mission that was like way too big for my boots, and I was like, you know what, I just got off my bike and rode off. Great. There's all these half-done missions I've got to go finish later.
The world building was fantastic. Like each area, each suburb has its own feel, its own vibe. Like as I said, loved Night City. You just spend, and I spent hours just riding around on my motorbike, clearing out assaults, etc., etc.
It feels like this weird mix between Outer Worlds and GTA.
So nice. As I said, I enjoyed that. Moving with the vehicle. Like you have to use a bike. You can't drive cars. They're just shit.
Cars are terrible to drive. I've been sticking with the bike you get off Jackie at the start, and that's it. That's
pretty much what I've spent the whole game on. So And yeah, you like cry when you get a quest when you get to drive a car and you're like, oh fuck, really?
The
It's gonna be interesting
Delamain
if I can get it there.
ones, I'm just like, oh, do I have to drive you back? There's like that one particular car that's like, it's like because the Delamain cars all have like different personalities. This one's like real scared, and you go too fast, it stops. It's like, no, we can't go any faster. We go too fast, we're gonna die. And then it like sits there for a minute. It's like, oh, the fuck, God. I mean, even your character's doing the same. It's like, fucking hell, what are you doing? And it's like, all right, we're gonna die here. We need to keep moving. It's like, and it was the most painful experience I've had. Was that quest? She's like, just
that's one thing. They probably need to get someone in. And it's just controller tuning. It's just way too touchy. That's all it is. It's just way too touchy.
I'm at a point now where I was using keyboard. I can use a keyboard and mouse with the motorbike's fine because it's kind of fairly easy, but the second I have to get in a car, I've got to grab the controller. Like I've got a console plugged in anyway, so I pick it up and just start playing with the controller because it's so much easier to do. Because I really want to get through those Claire missions because I love Claire. Oh, you're on console, so it's different for you. Yeah, you're constantly on
there's
console.
Still shit to drive.
Yeah. Like it's not great. It's just it's better than mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
It's definitely needs some work, but
that's one area. But yeah, as I said, loving the weapons. I love the crafting system. And if you want to...
still haven't got my head around the crafting system.
Yeah.
I've started looking at it and I'm like, okay, there are blueprints. How the fuck do I get these blueprints? Is it through weapons I already pick up? I know you need to craft... I learned last night you've got to craft into... You pick up just the blueprints themselves, do you?
You pick up the blueprints in the wild. So I picked up just by driving around doing random, all the assault and progress type quests. Just clearing blue shit off the map, basically. I picked up a shit ton of blueprints, and you end up pick up your legendary loot. I picked up a legendary hand cannon pistol pretty early in the game. There's one of those high powered big motherfuckers that do four times crit damage.
Yeah, and, nice.
So that's sort of made up my mind then where I was going to take my build because it was just so nice to use. So you just buy these random things in the wild. You just go there and say, oh shit. Killed everyone, and there's an orange thing. What's this orange thing? It's a blueprint, or it's a piece of clothing, or whatever. So
yeah, I've started to see some oranges pop up, and I've had I want shotguns. If anyone knows where a good shotgun is, let me know. And so last night I was like, right, people are like, here are a couple of shotguns. Oh, did you?
Yeah, but then you have to spec reasonably heavy in crafting to be able to build a legendary weapon as well.
Yeah, that's what I found out. So I've started because I'm like level 11 in body at the moment, so I'm gonna push some to crafting for a little bit.
Yeah, but I left crafting to last.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I sort of had gear I kind of needed. So I've sort of been through. I've done max reflexes. Cool, because I unlocked the cold-blooded stream, which is just crazy good for fucking crit damage.
Yeah.
A couple of them. I got to about 10 in body just to reach the perks I wanted in that. And now I'm just trying to max.
The best part about 10 in body is being able to rip people out of cars.
Yeah. You just sort of
open doors. It's like, this problem is solved now. I think I get dunced on the tech side all the time because I've only got like 4 points in tech and everything's like 5 or 6. I'm like, I've got to put a couple in just so I can use it maybe for other things. But
I still think I'm three intelligence.
Oh, really? Nice.
So you come to that door, you got to like hack, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm done. I'll just give up on that door. Don't even worry about it.
It'll be fine.
No, so as I said, I like, and Witcher was the same. If you min-maxed yourself inside Witcher, you could get some fucking crazy good builds inside that game. And this, the perk trees in this game are exactly the same, sort of built setup. So, I took to it well because I think I played through Witcher twice, and I loved the customization trees inside that. And this was just
I never finished The Witcher.
Yeah, it's a hard game to finish, man. It is long.
I haven't even done the main, so I haven't even gone into the DLCs, which I've heard Blood and Wine is really good. The story's fantastic, but I just got to a point, and I'm like, this main mission feels like it's never gonna fucking end. Like I'm pretty sure I'm on like the second to last kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just stopped because I was like, I can't do it anymore. Like I think it was, again, I was playing it as an older game. I think I was playing it last year, early last year, I think, or the year before. And I got to a point with I can't.
Yeah.
I can't anymore. I need to stop.
You just want to run through the quest because you've sort of lost. You just go, I just want to finish it.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of at that point now.
Points, yeah,
I'm kind of that point now with Cyberpunk. I've still got a couple of side missions to clean up with a few characters.
Yeah,
but I've done most of them. But it's sort of the same sort of thing. It's I've got the last thing to do. As such, so I know the last mission's there because I went into it and it said this is the point of no return. It's like, oh fuck, not just yet. So I pulled out.
I've had a few people, like I think one or two people I know now that are like at the point of no return. It's like I'm just going around and just cruising the city, getting all the other stuff done, and having a bit of fun before I do that final mission.
It's actually a testament to the quality of the side missions that it's like, well, fuck, I actually want to hang around and clean some more of them up because they've been good.
I think like good side missions, like I know Odyssey had quite a few as well, where like these side missions had these really really fun stories. Like they weren't always deadly serious, or just really dumb shit sometimes, but they were funny and engaging enough to like, well, if there's more of these on the map, because they're all mostly voice acted properly, and it's not just like, hey, you go here, do this. There's generally like a small kind of story arc in there as well, which is always fun. It's a good way to have side missions.
And worth doing. And if it's anything like Witcher, the side missions actually affect your endings. So
really?
The Witcher had 7 endings. I can't remember, 6 or 7 endings. I'm assuming. I haven't looked yet. I want to play through.
Depending on who you had with Witcher, it was depending on who you had on your side.
Your romances and everything else like that, and even some of the decisions you made with Ciri. So I haven't looked yet to see. I want to play through blind. I've got my save point that I can always go back to and try different endings if I so desire. But I just want to go through and just see, just hit it, see what ending I get, playing the way that I like to play, and then I can go back and try and gear out some of the other. I'll look them up and how do I get the other endings? As such.
Well, I mean, you've got three other life paths there to do with like your corpo. Or what did you say? You started as corpo, didn't you?
Yeah, I was corpo.
Yeah, corpo. Yeah. So I went to street kid. So you can go back to corpo, street kid, and rogue. So there's different. I mean,
I don't think
the starting game is like an hour. So there's like 2 extra hours of content you can do that you haven't played yet, just because of a choice you made early on. So
one choice, So as I said, do they deserve the amount of flack they copped? I actually don't reckon.
I
didn't like how they tried to hide the console thing. It's like,
that's stuff like that where there's like dodgy business practices. I totally understand. Like that's shit, and they shouldn't be doing it. And it's something that should definitely be fucking absolutely having them pulled up on 100%. But the game isn't bad. It's not great. I mean, it's not in a great state right now, but it needs work. But the base of a pretty decent game is there. It's not.
It's underneath. It's a fantastic game. You just got to put up a couple of bugs.
Exactly.
It's one of those things. It's like, well, they've copped a heap of flack. Like, virtually. Well, Sony pulled it, but they're saying it's unplayable. Fuck, man, I've done 50 odd hours. It's not unplayable.
See, that's the thing, though. Like,
it's got its warts. Don't get me wrong.
Sony, I know there's an approval board. So why wasn't this checked? Did they just not bother, or did CD Projekt Red kind of find a way to circumvent it? Because if that was the case, that's pretty fucking shit, and I can totally understand where it's coming from. But I mean, they should be offering refunds on games anyway. Right, I mean, given the amount of buggy games we've had, like the buggy shitty games have come out in the last couple of years, the refund system for both consoles should be better.
No, totally agree there. If you sell a game that doesn't meet, there's the basic consumer protection laws. Like you've sold it as this. I don't feel it's that bad. That it's actually breached something. It wasn't. Possibly wasn't, like sort of, we'll touch on Anthem where, they had the trailer, the actual gameplay footage, it was CGI, and you actually get to the game and it's not even anything like what they've been showing on all their trailers and shit. And you're like, oh, come on, guys, fuck.
I mean, you get that with every game though.
Look at, no, don't worry, they're gonna make it look pretty. This is why they only did PC for Cyberpunk. It's like, well, fuck, it looks great. You got a good PC and you can do ray tracing and all that sort of jazz.
It looks fantastic,
one it is one pretty ass game. Definitely not that pretty on PS4.
No. Yeah, I think they would have. It would have been better for them to do all these delays. That would have been fine, and then only release it on next gen. I think that would have been the way forward. And saying, look, we're working. Released on next gen and PC, and said, look, we're working on a backwards compat version, but because of the limited hardware, it's taking a bit of tweaking, and we have to make it so it's a playable state. But again, it could have been an investor thing too, where like, look, you've delayed this way too much. You need to get it out now, no matter what fucking state it's in. We don't care what you've said, or we're pulling our funding. So it's a hard spot to be in. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, there's other games like Path of Exiles. Consoles always lag the PC updates by about 2 to 3 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
So you get a new season come out. You know, it follows the Diablo model with seasons. So the new season will come out for Path of Exiles. You won't get it on 4 for at least 3 to 4 weeks while they work on it. So yeah, it's sort of like, okay, here you go. Here's a PC, or just say, okay, well, we're just holding it back for another 3 months. You know, I know everyone's crying about it. But, you know, I've said it before, you're better off releasing a better product than releasing a broken product. How much grief has this caused them? You know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, because they're such a big deal in Poland, I think their consumer protection mob, basically, unless...
Yeah, no, maybe it was Poland that I think I said Sweden.
Yeah, well, that's where the company's based. Yeah. Because I think, the government's in behind it. It's it's the biggest business in Poland, actually.
Yeah.
I think they actually got more money than the government. But what the consumer protection mob has said, basically, unless you deliver on the promises that you've made to fix the game, we're going to take 10% of your income from last year.
Oh, that's a motivator right there.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know about you, so I got $100 and someone takes $10 off me, I get pretty shitty about that.
Yeah, right.
You make a couple of $1 billion, holy smokes.
That's a lot of cash to lose, especially when, you know, when you've got a game that's been heavily refunded on certain platforms as well.
You know, and, man, the stocks are taking a hiding, and you know, there's a lot of.
It's not as bad as the loss that Marvel's Avengers will see, but somewhere like 6 billion.
Oh, and as I said, like realistically by March, they sort these sort of glitchy issues out. You know, like as I said, when they shipped Witcher, they knew it had 3,000 known issues with the game, and they shipped it. This would probably be very similar. You know, the devs would have had a blood list fucking a mile long on their walls of stuff they're working on. So, you know, you might find we get the January and the February patches, and the game, they get rid of those annoying...
They've laid out a game plan for most patches. They said we're taking a couple of weeks break for Christmas, and then January, February, there's a patch every few weeks addressing the more serious issues, and then they'll get into the smaller stuff once they've kind of fixed all that, which is... it's good to see them come out and go, right, here's our action plan. This is what we're going to do. You want to refund the game, that's cool. Like, I think even with like EB Games, like, because I got a great deal on a few versions of Cyberpunk. Be proud of me. I got them for $11 each at a closing down sale at Big W. It was so good. And so I went and traded one in today because they're worth about $40 for a trade in. So I'm like, this is brilliant, you know, make some cash off it. And I don't know if I should be talking about this.
There's actually a glitch. You can do a glitch in game like that too if you want.
Exactly.
There's a duping glitch in the vending machines.
Oh, don't tell me. No.
No.
I need to play.
And you can, if you max out crafting, you can basically break the economy of the game.
God.
By building shit for free, then breaking down for components that are worth money.
Fuck yeah, infinite money. Who doesn't want
but you've got to go put like 18 to 20 points into crafting, so you're going to be crap at everything else. So you'll be rich, but you're rich as shit, but you're garbage. You can't punch nothing or shoot nothing. So, you know, as I said, you can break the game in many ways, but you've got to really heavily spec out for it. But
yeah, so with EB, they're offering, like, I went and traded this copy in, and they were like, okay, so if you want to come back and, like, they fix the game in a few months, we're offering that if you come back, show your receipt for the trade-in, we will sell you back the copy of the game for the price, the value that you traded it in for. So you won't pay full price for it again. You'll pay the trade-in price, which is nice. I think that was really cool of them to do.
Yeah, they did that with Anthem for me.
Oh, did they really? It must be like a store policy thing.
That was at $7 when I traded it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like, you know, they're not going to fix it by the sounds of it. Anthem 2.0 is coming out instead. So
yeah, when though?
You know, when. If yeah, as I said, at the end of the day, if they fix the game, they turn around and fix their game like they did with Witcher, uh, you know, it's forgiven and everything else like that. If they do BioWare with Anthem, and really don't fix it, make a lot of promises, but I don't, you know, it was such a fun game to play. It was just, made me sad.
Yeah, it was great till you got to the end game, and it was like, well, there's nothing to do.
No, so as I said, as long as they follow that through, fix it up, it's gonna be a top game. Everybody be talking about it different. Like even Fallout 76 has kind of turned itself around.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like it came back from a pretty rough start. I haven't played it. But I've heard like that people that have been playing it more recently since the last some of the larger updates. It's actually playable and somewhat okay now to play. Like, it's still not an amazing game, but it's playable, which is good because there is a small community there that really get into that.
Fallout was a fantastic franchise, and it's sad to see it fall that low.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, all right.
Cyberpunk, indeed.
Yeah.
Have you heard what's happening with Disney these days and LucasArts?
Kind of yes and no. So I know that they're going to make about 14,000 new Star Wars series.
Yeah, they've got so with the large uptake in like Star Wars, they've decided to bring back LucasArts and start making Disney, because they bought Lucas all the Lucas properties for about $4 billion back in 2012. And now they kind of closed LucasArts down, which was their game making kind of company. And now that Disney's popular and cool again, Star Wars is popular and cool again, they've go, oh, by the way, these guys are going to be now making all the Star Wars games, which leaves EA in an interesting spot. Because right now, EA have the licensing for all the Star Wars games. And, the last few they've made have been really, really good. Battlefront 2 eventually turned around.
Yep.
Squadrons was great. I loved it. And
Jedi
Fallen Order was fantastic as well. My son just started playing that the other day, actually. He's it's great. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes and where the license goes now. Is Disney going to take this and fuck the Star Wars games up again? Or are they going to partnership with EA and just kind of, I don't know. It's because they've got this whole game studio now, but what are they going to make? Because I've seen a few like Star Wars licensed mobile games coming out now. There's like a couple of those ones. And I'm like, is this where we're going?
The problem is that money just doesn't make games.
Amazon found that out the hard way. With Crucible.
Yeah. So as I said, you got a company, a very creative company, and all that sort of stuff. Disney pretty much untouchable on movies, TV series, like fuck it. They know their game there. But games are different because Amazon spent a whole shit ton of money, hired a whole heap of really talented people, and produced
nothing came of it.
All the trash.
New World looks good. The MMO that they've got coming out looks alright. I'm kind of keen to see where that goes. I played the beta. It was
it'd be interesting.
It was pretty fun
to see if they can take that creativity and allow the people inside the game dev company to actually create instead of
I want to see Respawn make another Star Wars game now because it was so good.
It was a good story.
And so hopefully they get a good team and they listen to maybe they'll have some people from Respawn or EA come in as consultants and so this is where we've been taking the franchise if you want to keep going this way.
Probably my only criticism of Fallen Order. I wanted to explore the world more.
Yes, that would have been.
It felt very on rails. It felt very on rails.
It felt very Uncharted, Tomb Raider-esque, which is okay. It was like this weird mix between like Tomb Raider and Dark Souls, kind of.
I wanted to go explore those worlds, whereas I've played, in the past where I played an Uncharted game, I don't really give a shit. I just want to enjoy the story, do the stunts, get the CGIs. Whereas with Fallen Order, because the worlds were brilliant, the way they're built and the way they looked, and everyone felt unique. I actually wanted to go and dig around and have a look here and go find some weird monsters to go kill or play around with or whatever.
They did have like a few hidden like not boss fights, but like monster fights that you could find on it, like one. I think it was like one on each map. But yeah, more of that would have been cool. Just like little hidden away parts you have to explore to find something really cool, and maybe something else other than cosmetics, I guess. It was good that the cosmetics are there and was something that you could earn in game, and you'd have to buy them. Fucking EA, well done for doing the right thing. But I would have liked to see things like different abilities, different
customize your lightsaber.
Customize your lightsaber.
Because when I first picked the stuff up, I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna build a lightsaber, build my own lightsaber. And it was just like, I'll change the color of the blade. It's like, okay.
Switch the parts. Yeah, like finding because you had the single blade and the dual blade, which you got eventually in the story. I'd like to see you find like different styles of blades. Like you find a curve handle and it fights differently. So each weapon that you kind of find has a different play style, and then you can go, all right, I'm going into this fight, this is the play style. They'd all be fairly viable, but you want them all fairly balanced.
I think back on the PS1 or PS2 there was a Star Wars game. It was about the same time Phantom Menace was released.
Right, yeah.
It was I can't remember. I think it was side scrolling type game.
Yeah.
And it had that where you'd pick up things and it was a +1 attack or a +1 defense, or it enhanced one of your force abilities by a certain percentage.
Yeah.
So it allowed you to deflect fucking stormtroopers shooting bolts back at them easier or whatever. Little things like that. They don't have to be game breaking or any shit like that. But it's like, okay, well, it kind of allows you to just make the character that little bit more your own.
Yeah, so something to like even just challenge your own play style, because we're doing this, and the double with the single and the double you played very differently, and maybe you have a dual single, so you have one on each hand, or a short and a long, because there's lots of different. You know what I would have loved to seen? A proto saber. Just like you find an old ancient proto saber, you just like fix it up. I would have enjoyed it. Like stuff like that, like just little Easter eggs that like might not necessarily make a whole heap of sense, but for the sake of the game, just to change the way you play the game if you want to, would be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, that's probably about my only criticism. Apart from that, I loved it. It was good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic. I actually want to go back and replay it at some point, I think.
I had that good Star Wars, space opera feel to it. Everything's bigger than it needs to be, and all this sort of shit. I love that. It was just, it's like, and you used it from so many other games too. To actually, you pick up these bits. You're like, oh fuck yeah, I'll go do this, and it's like, it just changes the way it looks. Well, that's pretty, but so what?
Also, if we're still wearing a poncho, if there's a sequel and we're still wearing a poncho, oh man, just please.
Yeah, the dude loved these ponchos, eh?
Yeah, man. The pink poncho was the best though. Like once I found that, I was like, I'm not wearing anything else. No. Pink poncho, purple lightsaber, let's go. Brilliant.
No, so yeah, probably the decision would have been easy for Disney if EA had been kept making shit Star Wars games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still in a bit of shit with them. Like Fallen Order, Soldier Array, Squadrons. They kind of did the EA thing where they're like, this is a game, we're just gonna like not support it and like push it over there out of the way. And then Battlefront obviously had its issues, but I mean, reportedly Disney were like fine with what was going on. Like this is back in the Battlefield days. So it's interesting to see them go, oh, you know what? I think it's a whole money side thing. I think it's oh, you know what? This is making a lot of money, and we can push this a lot and like franchise the hell out of it. So I'm excited and or scared, probably both.
Well, see what happens. They're talking, especially with the way the world is at the moment with COVID. They're actually talking about gaming overtaking the film industry.
It wouldn't be far off, honestly. It's
in the next few years,
in the largest media, like one of the largest media things. And it's weird that gaming is still so kind of underground and like, movies are fine, but like gaming is making nearly more profit than movies are. It's a very, very large demographic, and it's for kids and stuff. It's like, it's making some fucking bank, dude. You should, and it's a good way to tell a story. It's interactive storytelling. Well, what could you not want? I mean,
as I said, I'm 40 something years old, and you people, I play games. Yeah, man, better than fucking movies. Movies, I sit there and I watch someone else's story. I play a game, I play my story.
Exactly.
I build the story the way that I want
become
it to
part
play
of
out.
that story, not just I'm not an observer. I'm part of
Yeah.
that now, which is a
No,
unique thing that the games have, which I really appreciate.
yeah, and man, they've come a long way since the Sega and Nintendo days as such.
I think a
the
lot of people
games
still
now
think about gaming as that or Fortnite.
as
So
Mario
it's like,
Brothers. Yeah,
yeah, it's like Mario Brothers or Fortnite. There's nothing in between. That's just all
yeah,
there is to gaming.
yeah. So no, it's yeah, 16, 20 hours. Yeah, you play like an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider game, and there's 16 to 20 hours of story, and it's interactive, and especially the Tomb Raider games, they did that really well. Like the
Yeah.
side exploring, and it's okay. Well, I'm in this area, and you get a map area, and you can push through, play the story, or you spend your time and uncover a whole big pile of secrets and secret dungeons and crypts. So, and yeah, you sort of grow attached to the character and their mannerisms and everything else like that. So, no, Last of Us, man, fuck, what a game.
Yeah, you can't sell me in The Last of Us. I played the first one. It was okay. I love the story. I'm not all about it. Like, I enjoyed the story. The game, like the gameplay needed some fight. The gameplay was old as shit. Like, I just finished playing Uncharted, and then went and I finished playing the Uncharted series, and I just played 3 and 4, and then went and played Last of Us. I'm like, this is the same. How is this the same so many years later?
My criticism of Last of Us 2 is exactly that.
The actual same gameplay systems.
Yeah, the engine, the game is kind of still the same. A little bit extra polish, but not much more. Like story, pretty fucking brutal, and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's like if I'd just finished playing Last of Us 1 and I jumped over into this, I'd be like, oh fuck, not more of the same.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what's been holding me off wanting to play Last of Us Part 2, because I'm like,
I didn't gel
gameplay. I didn't really enjoy the gameplay that much. I don't know if I can come up with more of that for the story.
Yeah. So, and as I said, I didn't gel with the characters in number 2 as much as I did in 1. Yeah. So whether it was my personal situation when I first played 1, I was just a brand new dad at the time, and Last of Us 1.
Those heartstrings, though.
Sort of like within the fucking first 10 minutes, your kid gets shot in front of you. You're like, what the fuck? And then you're taking on this adopted brat thing, and you've got jobs to look after her and get her across the country. So whether that I gelled more the first one for that matter. I've struggled to imagine myself as a teenage girl out for a
relationship was like the starring thing. It was the takeaway thing from that game. Like, if you talk to anyone about Last of Us Part 2, it was not, oh, the gameplay was amazing. It's, the story and the characters really, really drew you in, and that was the game. Like, nothing else really mattered at that point, because that's what was good about it.
You want to see it out to the end, so
yeah.
All right.
Should we get onto some deals?
Some deals. Yeah,
deals.
We can.
You like a good deal, Dan.
Mate,
you've been known to Scrooge in the past.
Speaking of deals, I picked up Ghost of Tsushima for $40.
Oh, dude, have you started playing it yet?
No, that's following Cyberpunk. I've got like,
all right.
Oh my god, I've got Ghost of Tsushima. I've got about 4 games sitting there, and
I don't care what those other 3 are. You need to prioritize Ghost of Tsushima as soon as you're done with Cyberpunk, because it is the Assassin's Creed upgrade we've been waiting for years.
Yeah, well, that's what I haven't played Valhalla, and what people have said about it at the
moment.
Yeah, and it's like, it would be a great game if Ghost of Tsushima wasn't released.
Yes, exactly. Like playing Ghost of Tsushima and then going to Valhalla.
Yeah, that's what everyone said.
Valhalla at the moment. Like, if Valhalla was half the length, I'd be fine. But at the moment, I'm at a point. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the main story, and I'm just like, all right, go to a new area, speak to this person. Suddenly, there's 3 things I have to do to rally some people. I go do that. I do a final fight, and then I'm on to the next area. And I'm just like, I need a break in the mission structure, because it is like, I'm like 40, 50 hours in. I'm just like, I can't do this any longer, and I've been putting it off. Like, the only saving grace for Valhalla right now is it's crossplay, and my wife has a copy on her Xbox upstairs, and I have a copy on PC. So if I have nothing to do, and I don't feel like walking downstairs to the PC, I just pop Valhalla on and just pump through a story mission or whatever, and that's the only reason I've been playing it lately.
No, so, and yeah, as I said, I don't know if I'll pick it up. because of exactly that reason. It's sort of like
it's a big game with a lot of like classic Ubisoft going on.
The Ubi model there.
Yes.
So you're kind of like.
100% go and play that next because amazing.
I was torn
game.
between that two, so I was like, I really want to play Ghost because I've heard it is just unbelievable and wonderful. And it's like, but then it's an open world game. I've just come from that, like Cyberpunk is kind of that same, go around, hit shit on the map type game. So I'm don't know yet.
Ghost is so much. It's different enough that, especially with the way combat works. The way world navigation works, all that kind of stuff. I think you'll really jive with it, even after playing Cyberpunk. I mean, open world burnout's something that I suffer with daily because I love open world RPGs too much for my own good.
Yeah.
But Ghost is really good. I had no issue playing it. I think there was a point where I got sick of chasing foxes for about 20 minutes, and it was like the last 3. I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. It's fine. But there's some really cool moments in the game, and it's a really good game overall, and it's not too long either. So I think maybe about 30 hours totally completed.
So it's not, it's not a 70-hour bloody.
No, it's not a big
clearing grind fest.
It'll be probably for after Cyberpunk would be quite refreshing for you, I think.
Yeah.
Something
I won't try.
Shorter.
Won't try. Yeah. So I don't know. I think you might have. No, so I picked that up on sale just recently. That was through Amazon, Boxing Day sale. So
nice. Yeah, good stuff. Excellent.
So I was happy about that. All right, so what have we got? We're on PlayStation Plus. We got Maneater for PS5, Greedfall, which I've been excited about this game for a while. Ever since Gray bought it up.
Things. Yeah, Gray did a great review on it. I think Gray and Direct have both played it and they love the game. So very good game to go play.
So I've been wanting to do it, and it's like it was on sale a couple of months ago, and I was like, I'm in a position I just had no time. I already had 3 or 4 games in the backlog, and I have to let it go, and just hope it comes cheap again another day, and then it's free. So.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic game, and Maneater as well. It's not a great game, but fuck, it's fun just to be a shark and just do dumb shit. Both fantastic games to go and play.
But I understand it's only for PS5. But
yes, but it's very much in the way that the PlayStation 4 thing works with PS3, I think, or with PlayStation things in general. You can go and download it off the website, and when you get a PlayStation 5, that copy will be there waiting for you. So we'll be keeping an eye out on those PlayStation 5 games as well, because they're worth kind of, especially if they're good ones like, Maneater. I can't remember what the last one was, but it was pretty decent as well.
The last one was the Worms game, the new Worms
game. Yeah, it's Worms. There was another one before that was really good. Worms as well. So definitely worth going through and grabbing those if you plan on getting a PlayStation eventually, or PlayStation 5.
Well, it's not plan on getting them; it's when you can get one.
When you can get one, yeah. When the scalpers stop picking them up and selling them for 6 times the price.
Yeah. No, because I never worried about the initial release with the PS5, right? I thought, I'm not fighting for day one. Don't really care. But I would have thought by January the following year that you would have a fighting chance of maybe ordering one or walking into a shop somewhere and buying one.
No,
and
not at all.
There's no daylight in the horizon. There's just like zero noise about what they're doing to fill stocks. So yeah, I'll get my poor little PS4 to last a few months longer. And then we spoke about it earlier, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was the 3rd game in the trilogy of the remake or the reboot. Not remake, it was a reboot.
Games, definitely worth playing. Fantastic stories, really good character development. The way you explore the world is beautiful as well.
Yeah. No, as I said, exactly. If you that sort of game, that's the way it should be made, and that's the way they should play out. It was painless to play. It's fun. Multiple different ways to do each sort of part of the story as well. It's not it's on rails, but you don't have to just go in guns blazing, or you don't have to just stealth everything.
You can kind of mix it up between the two. And if you stuff up your stealth, it's easy to switch to just blasting dudes with an AK.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's fine.
When shit goes down, and I don't even worry about stealth anymore because I know I'm going to fuck it up. So I just run in guns blazing. So, well, at least I don't compromise myself, and then end up surrounded by assholes. I'll just start on the outside and work my way through them.
Yep. Just pin them down and pick them off. It'll be fine.
All right. So on PSN, I digged through the other night, just bargain hunting as I always do. I saw Mortal Kombat 11, I think, for $30.
Yeah, it goes on sale quite frequently. I think that's the lowest I've seen it though. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't played 11 yet, but if it follows suit to the other games in recent history, damn good fun just for the story.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to end up being an online tournament fighter and all that bullshit, just the story. If you follow the Mortal Kombat storyline, it's getting a bit far fetched by now, but it was good fun.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat since God, I can't even remember. Like 3. I'm a big fighting game fan, but it's been a hot minute. Things have gotten weird though.
Nah, so I think I've done 9, 10. I can't remember how many they've made this last gen. Yeah, whether it was 8, 9, 10 or it was just 9 and 10, but yeah, I've sort of picked them up after.
I think it was just like 9, 10, 11.
9, 10, 11. So yeah, I haven't played 11 yet. But yeah, as I said, they took it from just being a generic, let's go fight through 10 levels, fight the boss and win the game and get a little bit of story. They've actually built a story the same they did with the Injustice games. They did really well on those licenses. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Apart from that, I didn't really look through much more.
Right. There's a great bundle there at the moment. Speaking about Star Wars earlier, that's why I kind of slid that one in there. There's a triple bundle going on the PlayStation Store. So it has Squadrons, Jedi Fallen Order, and Battlefront 2, all for $60. That is a fantastic fucking deal. Yeah, $20 a game. I mean, Fallen Order was a not Fallen Order. Squadrons was a cheaper game to start with. I think it was like $40.
It released at 40.
Yeah, released at 40. Fallen Order, fantastic game. We spoke about it earlier. Battlefront 2. People are still playing it and enjoying it, so you want to get wrecked by Darth Vader.
So, yeah, the issue with Battlefront 2 wasn't that it was a shit game. It was just the fucking loot boxes.
Yeah, EA filled it with shitty microtransactions.
It's come to the point boxes. You can grind, you can unlock Darth Vader, but you've got to play the equivalent of about 20,000 hours. Yeah. Or you spend $100 and you can have him. It's like, come on, you can put your monetization in there, but don't make the fucking alternative
game for all the wrong reasons, which is terrible. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's kind of shoved companies like this back and just like, no, this is not happening. This is not how we want these things.
It was the game that pivoted the whole loot box thing.
Exactly.
Kind of got rid of them out of their games. You don't see them outside of the mobile game industry. You're not seeing those fucking slot machines anymore.
Yeah,
which is good. So yeah, it was historical for multiple things, and then they sort of pulled all that shit out of it, and then made the unlockables achievable by normal people, and it was a pretty good game. Over
on Xbox this week, our Game Pass pick of the week, because this is something that's just come to Game Pass recently. Injustice 2. Speaking of earlier. Fantastic fighting game, really good stories. You like DC, you like fighting games, you're going to absolutely love this. Kind of want to get into it for the story, because I'm a big DC nerd. Here I am sitting here wearing a fucking Batman shirt.
You're just playing for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, number one, I played it for the story. I never went and did any online fighting or any other shit afterwards. I just played the story. I picked it was a freebie on PSN at the time. So, yeah, played the story, loved it, deleted it.
And on we go.
Yes.
Over on Games with Gold this week, so these are your freebies for the month. We have Little Nightmares, Bleed 2, and The King of Fighters 13. Little Nightmares, I think, was that the Stadia one, or was it something similar to that?
I can't remember. I know the cover. Of the game.
It's like it's a limbo-esque action adventure style game. Gorgeous. It looks gorgeous though. Short story. I think it's about 6 hours, but it looks like it'd be really fun to play. Bleed 2 is a side-scrolling action bullet hell-esque game. So it's like a twin stick shooter, but it's a side-scrolling 2D platform kind of deal. Looks like a lot of fun. Lots of upgrades and powers you can use. It's just like endless amounts of ammo and wreck all the bad guys. And King of Fighters 13, I've never heard before. Apparently there's 13 of them though. Super anime styled fighting game. Never heard of it before this. You know anything about
huge.
it?
Yeah. Pretty sure I played it on the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh wow.
Either one or two. That's how old the series is, man. Straight up with the Street Fighters. That's where they got their roots way back then with the original Street Fighter games. So they've been around for a while. Probably not as famous as the Street Fighter games outside of Asia.
Yeah.
King of Fighters is very big inside like Japan and stuff like that. So
right, okay.
But I haven't played one since the Mega Drive, but back then it was fun.
Yeah.
When I was 14.
Looks super polished from what I watched.
Mechanically, assume with that kind of heritage, that'd be a very mechanically solid game.
Yeah, you want to hope so.
Yeah.
Imagine releasing 13 shoddy games all in a series and you just kept going. Why would
Someone's pet project for too much money.
Yeah, exactly. Daddy gave me too much money to play with. Here's a shitty game.
Yeah.
Deals with gold this week. We have Warhammer Chaos Bane for $18. But if you want to pick up the Slayer edition, which is like their everything edition, it's $60. I don't know nothing of the Warhammer games, Dan. Talk to me, please.
Chaos Bane. Is that the Diablo-esque?
Yes,
it's set in that Warhammer universe that followed Inquisitor Martyr.
Yes.
And carried all the same problems with Inquisitor Martyr over with it.
I don't know about the problems, but let's
pretty
say
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, when I first saw like Inquisitor Martyr coming out, I love that third-person sort of genre, the Diablo genre. And I could see, Warhammer 40,000. I'm going, oh fuck yeah, this is going to be good if they do it right. And it was slow, it was janky, it was shit. And I think this has carried over. I don't think they learnt and said, okay, well, we can do this a little bit better. I think they just picked up the same engine, reskinned it, and released a Warhammer version. So, yeah, for $20, it'd probably worth a good thrashing. I don't know if I'd have to throw a few hours into it. You wouldn't go out for the everything edition, though? No, fuck that. I'd probably stick to the $18 edition.
I saw this was like the only thing that kind of stuck out in the deals because there's not a lot now though, because Xbox is really leaning on Game Pass, so their deals aren't as good, which is fine. This is the only one that kind of stood out. Originally I just saw the Slayer edition. I'm like, okay, righto. Yeah. And then I scrolled down a little further to see what else was there. I was like, oh, the original edition's there too. Cool, we'll put them both there. Yeah. Kind of nice.
So as I said, I'd probably throw $18 at it and have a couple of good nights of fun and then get the shits with it. But yeah. And that's if they fixed it, well, go spend a bit of money on the extra stuff. But
maybe like digital content and a bit of DLC
it hurts me.
Shit, wouldn't it?
Like, I've touched on the past. I love the Warhammer franchise, the 40k franchise, and all that. They released Necromunda last year on the PC.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's on console. So once again, another spin-off from the Games Workshop sort of thing. I've used to play the tabletop game. So much fun. And the video game wasn't. It's just bad. And it's like, oh, fuck, guys, when are you going to learn? Make a good fucking video game. And then you drag people into your franchises instead of disappointing the people who love already what you do. You want people talking about, geez, man, I played this game. It's fucking great. You got to get into it. Well, what's it all about? Oh, yeah. And you drag people into their tabletop world then. Instead, they keep making these crummy ass games that nobody outside of the people who already buy their games would buy.
It's like the sports games. They make shitty sports games, same game every year, same shit, and they keep making it, and the same people keep fucking buying it, but no one else is buying it because no, we're onto your shit now. Just no stop. Yeah. It's the same with like a different skin on it and a different character
FIFA
on the front.
Yeah, I bought FIFA 06. It's the same fucking thing. You just got new players because
it's got new graphics though, does it?
Yeah. Not really. I don't know if you saw the last round of EA trash.
Yeah.
And the last round of EA Trash, I actually think they looked worse than the 20 when the 2020 comes one out. They
I
looked
think
worse than the 19 games.
And NBA 2K copped quite a bit for being shoddy and stuff with microtransactions, and I think there was a
that was one we actually got to play the slot machine.
Yeah,
Didn't it? It had the actual graphic come up on the screen.
It was like, what the fuck, guys? Terrible.
Yeah, then the actual on-screen graphics looked worse than previous games. So it's like, okay, one of the things, okay, I'll buy the annual edition, but I'll get a bit of a graphics upgrade at least, as well as, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You give me $90 and get the same shit, but worse,
Yeah, terrible.
No. So.
Yeah. Over on deals over on the Switch this week, we have a Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Hell of a mouthful to say. $30.
This game is a fucking blast. I was playing with my kids this half.
Oh, I haven't spoken to someone that's played it. I mean, it's a Crash racing game. I know this.
It's a kart racing game. Yeah, it's a kart racing game. It's Mario Kart. It's PlayStation's answer to Mario Kart, right? So I had it back on PS1 originally. It was one of the few games my wife plays, so I bought it for the PS4.
Yep.
And it's a brainless kart racing game.
They're always fun, especially with like a few people.
Yeah.
A few mates and a few beers, you just kind of get into it and start.
So there's the online thing. I think you can have up to 4 people split screen, so you don't see split screen very often. But you can have 4 people split screen, hanging off one console, or you just go online. For $30, man, there's a lot of fun. If you like kart races.
Yeah.
My kids love it.
Oh, sorry. What's that? Kids love those games. They're fantastic. I need to get Mario Kart 8 for the Switch again for my boys, because I got rid of it because they weren't playing it, and now they want it again. I'm like, fuck.
What is old is new again.
But I need to get my wife to stop playing Animal Crossing first. That could be a challenge. Over on the Epic Store this week, a final deal, or our final freebie for this week, we have Crying Suns, which is a tactical roguelite. It has space exploration in procedurally generated universe. That's hard to say when your mouth's dry. Tactical fights between battleships and the squadron fleets. More than 300 possible story events. 6-chapter storyline, and inspired by universes such as Dune and Battlestar Galactica. If you like your tactical roguelikes, this might be worth giving a look. Free, it's epic if you can get past the whole epic thing. They have some freebies. You should definitely watch that. They've had fantastic 12 days of epic or something, and it was
I picked
one free game every day. It's great.
Was it Total War from the Epic Store last year? Because I don't have a gaming PC, so I've got I've got to be pretty picky with what games I download.
Yeah.
I picked up Total War. It was a fucking Greek one that they released. I had a lot of fun in that game for free.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you pick up. I think I started as a Spartans because 300, and then pretty much went out of my way just then to take over the world. It was good, but it was good fun, and if you like those Total War games, so love or hate Epic, the freebies are pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I love Epic, but I just disagree with the way they do things occasionally, which I think is the general feel.
Business.
Yeah, the business handling isn't great. But that is all we have tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, thank you so much for coming in and rescuing me from a week from talking to myself. So it's good to catch up. It's been far too long since we've chatted about games.
Talked shit for 2 hours about video games. Haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get it off your chest. It can get a bit interesting weekly, but I get to meet all these wonderful new people now, which is great. So Dan, if people want to find you and chat to you about Souls and other video games, where can they find you?
I'm still on Instagram. I don't use Twitter much anymore. Just sort of it just got messy. Yeah, Twitter just got really.
Twitter kind of looks like Instagram now. You might be okay. They've merged a little bit.
Yeah. No, so probably I'm not as active on Twitter as I used to be, as such. But I still use Instagram a lot, and Discords. The Two Left Thumbs Discord, I'm still in there, and still post random shit every now and then when I remember. Or someone pings me, so yeah, you just jump into the Two Left Thumbs Discord and at me, and yeah, I'm happy to talk about bits and pieces. Speaking of Souls likes, have you got any news on Elden Ring?
No. We I had Capcade and Direct on last episode, and she's hugely waiting for Elden Ring, and she's very upset that they brought it up at the Game Awards and then never mentioned it again.
No, it's sort of what they did with Sekiro. They dumped that 18-second film clip of the prosthetic limb, and had everybody think it was Bloodborne 2. And that's all we heard until the game was virtually released. There was very little. Apart from that 18 seconds of hype, there wasn't. And From tend to do that a bit, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah, will be.
Or if it's like George Martin and him writing the rest of the fucking Game of Thrones books, it never happened.
This fucking rate. No. Elden Ring 3025 coming to you a lot.
Yeah, no, I'll have to bloody
on the Xbox
upload
40.
my personality into a satellite and wait for it to be released, because I'll be too old to enjoy it.
You know what? Satellite wouldn't be such a bad life. It's the meteorites you gotta watch out for.
No, I've got a good laser. I can troll people with it.
Yeah, exactly. Just draw dicks on the earth.
Yeah. Burn it on the side of someone's roof, driveway.
Yes.
Crop circle things, and get all the people fucking stressing.
Love it.
So yeah, that's pretty much me. Discord and Instagram, probably two best places.
Wait, DawnoftheDan.
Yeah, that'll be me.
In all those places. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, you can find us on Twitter @LeftPod. And you can also catch us on YouTube, where the video versions of these episodes are up if you want to see our beautiful faces and the visual references that we always tend to make anyway. So go over there, sub to our YouTube. That would be fantastic. We have also, just recently this week, I got off my ass and got an Instagram going for the podcast. So you can now find us over on Instagram @2LeftThumbsPodcast. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. I'm just posting random shit at the moment, episode updates, all that kind of stuff. I might do some more behind the scene things with it later on. I don't know, but it's there. Keep an eye on it. Cool shit may or may not happen. As always, if you've enjoyed the cast, share it around, tell a friend, get us into more ear holes, and let's get more people talking about more games and the things they love. You can also rate us on your podcasting platform of choice. A crispy little 5-star never hurts. You did not hear that from me. No. Yeah, that's it. My name's Deft Puppies. You guys know who I am by now. You know where to find me. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that shit. I'm around. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more episodes. We're back into a steady stream of weekly episodes, which would be good. Dan, thank you so much for coming on.
All right, buddy.
You guys have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Cheerio.